threatening skies over Silverstone for the final two races of the day. The first of those is the K-Tec Racing Clio 182 Championship. The car's already out onto the circuit, but there will be no James Bark for this one. He was a retirement from the earlier race and not able to get his car fixed in time. So the championship leader, joint championship leader coming into this weekend, not out for race 2. Ryan Polly, therefore, is effectively on pole position, number 36. Second row will be number 3, Jack Kingsbury, and number 21, Scott Edgar. And they are on the second row. Third row, 15, Don de Graaf, and 25, Simon Donoghue. This grid, by the way, set by the fastest lap times from the earlier race. Row 4, 66, Ross Borman, and 24, James Sundler. Then on to row 5. We will see that in a moment. 13, Josh Larkin, and 56, Christian Lawrence. Row 6, 48, Tristan Lang, and the 14 car of James Gehagen. 7th row will be 88 and 11, 88, Thomas Hall, 11, Stephen Langton. The 8th row, 2, Terry Roughton, and 44, David Garside. The last 4 rows of cars on the grid, that will be headed by number 7, Stephen Richardson. They're doing a second green flag lap now with the changing conditions. 7, Stephen Richardson will have number 55, Justin Griffiths, alongside him. 23, Jason Powell, and 99, Neil Heath starts on row 10. Michael Ward, 27, and Gary Bayton, 74, on the 11th row. And at the back, hopefully we'll have James Bishop and Jay Daniels, but they were early retirements and non-starters respectively from the earlier race. And I see that Stephen Langton, just a bit late coming out of the pit lane there, number 11. So he will, well, I think he'll actually be okay because he wants to a second green flag lap to take up his correct grid position, which will be on row 7. Late heading out, possibly just late setup changes there to take account of the conditions that have changed quite dramatically since race 1, when in the dry we had a new lap record for James Bark before we think there was a failure precipitated by him riding over the curbs through Abbey and Farm Curve and towards Village. That's caused a breakage on the car, and it looks like that's really going to upset his championship hopes because he's not here. 13 rounds out of 16 will count.
No 25.
Yeah, we've not got the 25 car. We didn't think we would have. That was involved in an incident earlier on. That's Simon Donoghue. Also confirmation that there's no Tristan Lang, and there's no Jay Daniels as well on the grid. The 48 car is missing from row 6. The Jay Daniels car is not at the back of the grid, unfortunately, so that's a great shame for Jay. He's a great enthusiast and was lying 6th in the championship coming into this weekend. So the car's heading back round to the grid for a 13-minute plus 1 lap race for the K-Tec Racing Clio 182 Championship. A reminder that early on today it was victory for Ryan Polly, winning by just under 3 seconds in the end from Jack Kingsbury, returning after a few months out, and Scott Edgar took his second ever Clio podium, 3rd place overall. Don de Graaf, who was 3rd in the points coming into this weekend, he finished 4th. Ross Borman making his seasonal debut in the 66 car, he took 5th place. And Josh Larkin, a good drive up the field after a penalty from qualifying, driving up into the top 6. It'll be interesting to see what he can do from there. So Marshall's sorting them all out into their grid order. Ross Borman's car, the black car with the pink headlamps and the pink rear quarter as well. James Sundler, 24, was involved in that incident with Simon Donoghue at the Vale in the earlier race. 88 moving into his position is Thomas Hall. Marshall's just getting everyone into their correct grid slots for this 30-minute plus 1 lap race. Quite a lot of drivers, understandably, with their headlamps on. So it looked like James Bark did get a new sump on his car, is the information that we're receiving. But that's seized on him once on the car. That's the information that's being fed to us in the commentary box. So it looked like James Bark did everything he could to get back out there. But there's a gap where he should be on pole position.
So he cracked the sump over the curves and yeah,
looks like it.
Lifted up into the rotating parts, I guess.
Right, all set for the off. So behind where James Bark should have been is Jack Kingsbury, number 3, but I don't think he's really able to take advantage of that as they come off the line. A few of the cars trying to hug the inside down towards Abbey, but it's the 36 car of Ryan Polly that leads the way then as they turn into the first corner at Abbey from, it looks like, Jack Kingsbury in second place, Scott Edgar third, and Don de Graaf in fourth position as they are making their way down towards the village hairpin for the first time, with spray being kicked up. That is Don de Graaf up on the inside of Scott Edgar, up into third place, I think. So I'm going quite wide there as well. Didn't quite catch the number on that one, but Stephen Langton there also reasonably wide. Looks like Edgar fourth, and I think Larkin fifth, and Ross Borman in sixth as they made their way onto the Hangar Straight for the first time, Marcus.
Yep, it's Ryan Polly, overjoyed with that earlier win, although he was had to fight for it the whole way, and he finds himself with a lead of about 3 cars lengths over his nearest rival on the circuit, which is Jack Kingsbury. Looking at the Yoo-Hoo car there. Don't say glue, say Yoo-Hoo, as the old advert used to go a long time back. But lifting a wheel, even in these wet conditions, lifting a rear wheel, it's Ryan Polly who leads on a big spin. Oh no, quite got it back, but he lost a lot of momentum there. The number 56
Christian
car.
Lawrence, that is the blue and yellow machine. So he's held that position, which I think is 7th.
Yeah, Polly by 0.69 of a second.
Very wide in the background has got number 14, James Gahagan, but he rejoins the circuit, having explored the runoff area at the exit of Club Corner. So there's Lawrence after that sort of half spin. They're coming through there in 7th position. It's Polly leading though, Kingsbury in second, 7 tenths between them. Third is de Graaf, fourth is Edgar, then Larkin and Borman fifth, and again very deep into the village hairpin goes Christian Lawrence, but he stays in 7th place, you can see in the background there. I think he's exploring some wet lines.
Yes, it may work for some people. Slightly different line, but danger is you'll lose a lot of ground as easily as you'll gain it.
And first time I've driven this circuit in the wet, I'm sure, so he's probably making it up as he goes along in terms of finding where the grip might be.
It's called a plot and bash, I think, in rally terms.
So Lawrence heading this group of cars. He's got Sunder behind him, then Gahagan, and then the 88 car of Tom Hall. Leaders already down to the Vale for the second time. We had 10 laps earlier on. It might not be quite as many as that this time around because of the weather and the elongated lap time that results. Polly it is from Kingsbury. Again, probably going to be about the same gap, I would think, as it's come down, in fact, by a couple of tenths, half a second this time between them, as Kingsbury does the best lap of the race on the first flying lap, of course. Kingsbury second, third is de Graaf, fourth is Edgar, Josh Larkin fifth, Ross Borman in 6th place. Terry Raslin and Justin Griffiths both losing places on that second lap, I could see, a bit further down the order. Gary Bayton in 18th position of the 19 cars that we have circulating here. Down the inside of Larkin goes Borman, that's at Village. And alongside on the exit, Larkin still with a novice cross on the back of his car, and newcomer for this season. And his best results, I'm just trying to look up what they might be. Yeah, he's had a couple of top 6 finishes before today, and another one earlier on this afternoon.
So, yeah, so he's building nicely, isn't it, for him?
It is. Yeah.
Ryan Polly doing a great job out front. Still from Kingsbury. There's this battle 13 and 66, which is Larkin and Borman fighting their way now through Stowe Corner into the Vale. There's de Graaf chasing the number 3 car of Jack Kingsbury. It briefly saw the battle for 2nd and 3rd places. K-Tec Racing, sponsors of this championship, the West Dorset-based Renault tuning specialists.
So 36 from 3, but de Graaf's there had a good lap. Kingsbury not such a good one. De Graaf did a 1:24.36. He was 6 tenths faster than Kingsbury that time round. So de Graaf, ex-Formula Renault racer, quite a few years ago now. But and Josh Larkin, we were saying how well he was going, has a big moment at Abbey. Just about kept it out of the gravel, because that could have been a different situation altogether, as the rain is now falling fairly steadily here, but he has therefore lost ground to Borman. We'll find out exactly how far he's dropped down in a moment, but fortunately for him he did keep it out of the gravel. There's Edgar in 4th, there's Borman in 5th in the background, So who's the next car through? We're even going to see. Yeah, we don't actually see the 6th place car coming through.
Yeah, let Ross Borman off the hook, that, didn't it?
Yeah, and it's Lawrence now that's up into 6th place as a result of that.
Yeah.
Larkin, I think, just tucked in behind a couple of those. So he's got work to try and do to get back up inside the top 6. He's going to start that now. Sunder, though, is trying to get past Lawrence at the same time. But on the outside line for Stowe Corner, one of the drivers who's not got his lights on. You can see the big dent in the door from the earlier incident with Simon Donoghue. Which,
there was talk of a broken wheel precipitating that, wasn't
there? Yeah, there was indeed. So down into the left-hander at Vale.
56 has got a good old dink in the driver's door as well. A bingle, as a friend of mine likes to call it.
And there's Tom Hall looking to try and make up ground on James Hagan there. And that'll be for 9th and 10th. They're going to be side by side as they go through. So at the front of the shot, you can see 24 James Sundler in 6th position. But look at this.
3 abreast.
Three abreast. So that's the 44 car of Dave Garside.
We've got...
that's Gahagan, isn't it? 14 off.
I thought it was Edgar.
No.
Wide out, was it?
No, it was the 14 car of Gahagan that had gone wide there. Identical liveries, teammates.
That's what's done it.
Yeah. Lawrence has run a bit wide there. And once again, there's Garside, though. He's the man that's moving forward. He started 16th on the grid. He's up to 12th already. He might have made up a place already on this lap, actually. Heading through the link now onto the hanger straight once more. Ooh. I think that's Justin Griffiths having a big moment. I think he was on the front row at Anglesey, Justin Griffiths, and that was his star turn so far in his Clio experience. Here's the 13 car of Larkin up the inside of Sundler. This for 6th place then into Stowe Corner. And they turn their way through. Lots of spray being kicked up, but Larkin's fully alongside still, but Sundler's got the inside line for the next corner. And will he be
There's a sense of deja vu about it, doesn't it, given the first race that he found himself in the gravel when his teammate came up the inside of him there.
No such drama this time. So 5.5 minutes left. Good battles going on here. Meanwhile, up front, by the way, Ryan Polly still leading by nearly 3 seconds from Don de Graaf. Jack Kingsbury 3rd, only about half a second behind him though. Scott Edgar 4th. As Larkin having another look at Sundler into Abbey this time. And side by side through there. They'll try and do so through Farm as well. And out of shape is Larkin. Just to back out of that a little bit, I think. Or does he? Down the inside into the village hairpin. Very different lines taken. Sundler holds on.
Just. And it's about 3/4 of a length going out to a length now over the brow in the link. Down off onto the hanger straight. And that time Larkin did a front wheel right over the curve onto the inner bit of grass, clonked down into the sort of depression that's the other side of the curbing, and then bounced out of it. So it cost him a little bit of time, but it's not enough to prevent him from having a go down into Stowe. The track properly wet down there now. Perhaps a little bit drier on the very outside, which is where Sundler has put himself.
He has. He's going for 6th place. This is the position he was in before that big moment at Abbey. De Graaf and Kingsbury have both come through and have just done personal best that time, 1:24.1 and 1:24.23. It doesn't look like the kind of conditions that are improving much, but clearly they are. At least the drivers are getting more confidence in them now. And they've both closed up marginally on Ryan Polly, who's still more than 2 seconds clear, with probably 4 laps to go. Here they come towards us then, still this battle for 6th. Larkin having another go at James Sundler, down the inside into Abbey, and yes, this time he has made that work. It was, I think, a mistake there from Sundler that time, opened the doors for him, and he was able to go through up into P6. So Sundler in the 24 car is now 7th, Larkin it is up into 6th position. There you've got Lawrence and Garside. Garside now up into 9th place from row 9 of the grid, or sorry, row 8 of the grid, so that's a very good performance from the driver of car 44, the man from Basingstoke in Hampshire. Langton's car, the Yoo-Hoo sponsored car, still there in 12th place. As the leaders back turn towards us, and thank goodness they've got their headlights on because we wouldn't know they were there otherwise, I don't think. 13 and 24, so Larkin still ahead of Sundler, then it's Lawrence, and now that's the 99 car of Neil Heath. All of a sudden that he's appeared into this fight, and he's gone ahead of Lawrence now up into 8th place.
Yeah, he's gone past Thomas Hall, hasn't he? And I think Garside and Lawrence as well.
Yeah.
So
well, he started even further back on row 10 of the grid, so that's a great performance from Neil Heath, number 99, up into the top 10. Leaders have already got off.
And that's the Yoo-Hoo car. It's run out of stick.
Yeah, supposed to stick to the road. It's not going to stick to the grass. It's going to sort of effectively cut out a bit of the Vale and Club Corner and try and rejoin. If he can get back onto the tarmac, which he does. We'll have lost time because of that, though.
Polly 7 laps in, 1.99 ahead. Graf second in 15, Kingsbury third in 3, Edgar is fourth in 21, then it's Borman, Larkin back into the top 6, Sundler and Neil Heath, Lawrence and Thomas Hall in the top 10. That's the yellow car you saw, Christian Lawrence there, battling with Thomas Hall, the Team Hall racing car.
Yes.
I think that was probably...
that's Garside in his hatchback's flown open, hasn't it?
That's number 44, David Garside.
So if that sort of flew open, that would have encircled the car under braking, wouldn't it?
Two abreast down there wasn't going to work on the outside.
No.
He got a little bit of a squeeze.
So this is Lawrence and Hall side by side for 9th and 10th, it was, heading down into... and that's Scott Edgar. Big tank slapper for him there, the man that's in 4th place. And the danger... and off goes Lawrence now. Into the gravel, that's at Stowe. And he's not going to get out of there. Quite a lot of tarmac run off before you get to the gravel trap, and it looked like there might have been another one off, actually a bit back up the hangar straight.
Maybe. Okay,
yeah,
yes.
There is. Now, was that the Hall car potentially? No.
Same car, but it doesn't have the Team Hall Racing on the side.
I think it's Terry Roughton, number 2, isn't it?
Silver Fox.
Yeah, it is. Ex-Stock Hatch racer. But we've got Christian Lawrence. Now Stephen Langton's off again. This time, it's the same gravel trap as he explored before, but this time he's decided he liked it so much the first time. And now 44's off into a gravel trap too, David Garside.
With the hatchback up.
Well, all of a sudden, this race has fallen apart somewhat, with cars going off left, right and centre. There's only 30 seconds to go on the clock. That Garside car's just on the exit of Club Corner, I noticed, just opposite the start line. Ryan Polly still leads, by the way, from Don de Graaf and Jack Kingsbury. Just to remind you, we've not really seen much of them in this race, but they've not been throwing their cars at the scenery with quite such alacrity as everybody else. Which is and there's another one off. That's Justin Griffiths having a big spin in the background, coming onto the hangar straight. Controls it quite nicely.
They put the checkered flag up rather wisely.
Yes, they have. So Ryan Polly it is that gets the win by 3/4 of a second from Don de Graaf. Jack Kingsbury 4 seconds behind in 3rd position, so it's another win for Ryan Polly. He will extend his lead in the K-Tec Racing Clio 182 Championship. There's only a couple of meetings left to go at Donington Park and Snetterton to complete the season. So Edgar 4th, Borman 5th. It should be Josh Larkin that comes up to the line in 6th position, but the way this race has been going, there's no telling if there's anyone else going to make it to the checkered flag.
There were cars everywhere, weren't there?
There were. It was bizarre. It looks like that is not Larkin, it's Neil Heath. Neil Heath on the final lap, so he started 20th and he's come home in 6th position. Number 99, Josh Larkin 7th, James Sundler in 8th place, number 24, 9th number 88, Thomas Hall, 10th number 55, Justin Griffiths. Then it's going to be Jason Powell, I think. No, yes, it is Jason Powell, 23, coming home in 11th place, because most of the other drivers that were sort of contending for those positions have now thrown the cars at the scenery, I'm afraid. Largely independently of one another, I think. This is James Gahagan. He's going to come home in 12th place, and that might be just about it. Because, oh no, we've got one more at least, and that is the 7 car of Stephen Richardson.
Yes, we know Garside's off somewhere. Michael Ward, not quite sure. Is that Michael Ward?
I think that could be Michael Ward. Yes, it is the 27 car. I think that is going to be the last.
Garside we know is missing, Lawrence we know is missing, Roughton we know is missing, and Langton.
Yeah.
Went a while ago, a couple of laps ago, so yes, that's...
There he is. Yeah, and there's... we briefly saw Terry Roughton there. Let's have a look at the results of that K-Tec Racing Clio 182 Championship race there before we try and clear those all up. And at the end of that race, it was Ryan Polly that took the win, number 36 from Don de Graaf. So they'll be 1st and 2nd in the championship now. Jack Kingsbury 3rd, so a good return to action for him. Scott Edgar 4th and Ross Borman. Neil Heath, a great drive up the order from 20th to 6th place. Then Josh Larkin, James Sundler, Tom Hall, also a good comeback from him. And further back, Jason Powell was 11th, James Gahagan 12th, Stephen Richardson and Michael Ward the final finishers. But we know that the likes of David Garside, Christian Lawrence, Terry Roughton and Stephen Langton all had dramas in the closing stages of what appeared to be a rather attritional K-Tec Racing Clio 182 Championship race. Well,
JCB's and Barry Mills recovery all round, I think, now.
Absolutely right. It'll take a few minutes to get these cleared up before the final race of the weekend, which will be the Protec Shock Sports Specials Championship. So with the cars filtering into the pit lane at the end of that race, we should have a reasonable amount of time to hear from Don de Graaf and Jack Kingsbury and Ryan Polly. They're about to talk to Josh Barrett.
Thanks, Ian. The three drivers all gathering together, so we might have to interrupt their conversation. Ryan just turning off his onboard cameras, all the cars have to run. Well done, Ryan. Really tricky conditions at the end there, but you managed to hang on.
Yeah, just to finish was brilliant. I mean, the track kept changing so much. I mean, it was damp, then it was wet, and then it dried out, and then yeah, it was flooded. But no, it's a really good day.
For the championship, absolutely perfect with your main rivals not doing so well.
Yeah, I mean, after the last round, that's done the world of good. So on to Donington.
Trevor Gregory was telling me you just managed to get the right tyres on at the last second as well.
Yeah, I mean, we had a quick pit stop in the assembly area, which luckily we was parked opposite, but no, it was good.
Well done, Ryan. Great weekend for you. In second place was Don. Don, you were catching him right at the end there, but not quite enough time to get past.
Yeah, no, the car felt great. I've got to really thank my brother and Andy Tibbs, Patrick Fletcher and Charlie Turner, because literally we only just made it out for the green flag laps and they got me out there on some good tyres. So really, if they hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have finished anywhere. So that podium's their podium, really. But no, we were catching him towards the end and I felt like I had the pace. It was getting really slippy, but was there a last lap board or did they put it out early?
Lots of cars were off, so they decided to flag it when they did instead of a red flag.
Okay, well, I wish they'd left it for an extra lap, but no, Ryan drove a good race, and to be fair, I only really started catching him when it got really, really wet at the end, so I'm happy with that.
You got past Jack, so that was an important few more points.
Yeah, that's it. At the moment, like, obviously, Ryan's had a really good day, so we've had a really hard weekend, to be honest. We've struggled all weekend, so I'd say we've come away with the best we possibly could, really, from a bad situation. So now we just need to try and find some pace to race with Ryan and for the rest of the year, and James Bark, obviously, as well.
Good luck for the rest of the year. Quick word with Jack before we get soaked. I think that's the best idea, isn't it, Jack, to go inside? As Ryan was saying, the conditions kept changing all the time and different on different parts of the track.
Yeah, there was plenty of grip within the first 5 laps. It was going well, and then all of a sudden, vision. The road, the track was just covered in water. It was just standing water, and you come into it, you're aquaplane, and it was just all about keeping it straight and getting it past the finish line, really.
Will we see you out for more races this year?
I'm planning on being at Donington, so yeah.
Look forward to seeing you there. Well done on 2 podiums this weekend. Lovely. So third place for Jack Kingsbury, second for Don de Graaf. Our winner was Ryan Polly. The rain comes down even harder. Let's have a look about our final race of the day, which is the Sports Specials Championship.